The alien king's gorgeous daughter was starving, until a human impressed her with earthly delights. Amara Vex sat alone in her private room aboard the massive warship called Twilight Sentinel. Her skin shimmered like a rainbow under the lights as she looked at Earth through a special window. For 3 months, she had eaten nothing but bland food pills. This was a sad life for someone born to enjoy the best things in the universe. The ships of her people, the Celestial Dominion, waited beyond Mars. They had arrived 6 months ago. The first talks with humans had failed. Humans would not bow to celestial rule. Now the fleet was getting ready for war. "Princess, your father wishes to speak with you," said a servant through the communication system. Amara sighed. She touched a small crystal on her wrist, and a large image of her father appeared before her. King Zoreth of the Celestial Dominion looked stern, his tall form draped in living metal clothes that moved like water. "Daughter, why do you refuse to join the War Council meetings?" he asked, his voice deep and cold. "What is the point, father? The council has already decided to attack. My opinion means nothing," Amara replied, turning away to look at the blue planet again. "You are the future ruler of the Dominion. You must show interest in our conquest," said King Zoreth. Amara touched her neck, where a special gem monitored her health. "The doctor says I'm suffering from sensory deprivation. I find no joy in anything anymore. Not in food, not in music, not in conquest." King Zoreth frowned. "This human world might offer new experiences. Perhaps that will cure your condition." After her father's image disappeared, Amara walked to her feeding station. The machine offered her a gray cube of nutrients. She took a small bite and felt nothing. No taste, no pleasure, just fuel for her body. She threw the rest against the wall. "What is the point of ruling the galaxy if nothing brings joy?" she whispered to herself. On Earth, Lieutenant Olivia Marsh stood nervously in the office of Admiral Carter. She had been suddenly called to headquarters without explanation. "Lieutenant Marsh, your tactical simulation program has caught our attention," said Admiral Carter, a woman with short gray hair and serious eyes. "It shows a remarkable understanding of how the alien ships move and fight." "Thank you, Admiral," said Olivia, standing straight in her crisp Navy uniform. "We have a special mission for you," said Admiral Carter, sliding a tablet across the desk. "Your psychological profile suggests you might be able to connect with someone in the alien fleet." Olivia looked at the tablet. On it was an image of a beautiful alien woman with shimmering skin and sad eyes. "This is Princess Amara Vex, daughter of the Celestial King," explained Admiral Carter. "Our spies report she has become distant and uninterested in the war. This might be our chance to prevent an attack." "What can I do, Admiral?" asked Olivia. "We want you to meet with her as part of a final diplomatic mission. Find common ground. Make a connection. Anything to delay their attack while we prepare our defenses." Olivia swallowed hard. "I'm a tactical officer, not a diplomat." "Which is exactly why you might succeed where our diplomats have failed," said the Admiral. "You think differently. Pack your bags, Lieutenant. You leave for the neutral station tomorrow." That night, Olivia couldn't sleep. She paced her small apartment, thinking about the impossible task ahead. The fate of Earth might depend on her ability to connect with an alien princess. As morning came, Olivia had a sudden idea. She rushed to her kitchen and began baking, something her grandmother had taught her long ago. A simple human pleasure that had always brought her comfort. The next day, Olivia boarded the shuttle to the neutral station orbiting Earth's moon. Along with her official diplomatic materials, she carried a small container hidden in her bag. The neutral station was a marvel of both human and celestial technology. Olivia felt small as she walked through its grand halls, escorted by 2 serious Earth security officers. They led her to a large door that slid open silently. Inside, surrounded by 4 tall alien guards, stood Princess Amara. In person, she was even more striking. Her skin changed color slightly as she moved, and her eyes seemed to see right through Olivia. "Another human emissary," said Amara, her voice musical but bored. "I told my father this is pointless. I'm Lieutenant Olivia Marsh, said Olivia, trying to keep her voice steady. I'm here to discuss alternatives to conflict. There are no alternatives, said Amara, turning away. Your species refuses to accept our rule, so war is inevitable. Olivia took a deep breath. It was time to try something no diplomat had considered. Before we begin the official talks, I brought you something, said Olivia. She reached into her bag and pulled out a small container. The alien guards moved forward, but Amara raised her hand to stop them. What is this? Asked the princess, curious despite herself. We call them chocolate chip cookies, said Olivia, opening the container. I made them myself. Amara looked confused. You brought food? As a diplomatic gift? Not just food, said Olivia with a small smile. An experience. The princess took one small cookie and examined it carefully. After a moment, she took a tiny bite. Her eyes suddenly widened, and the colors of her skin pulsed brightly. What? What is this sensation? Whispered Amara, staring at the simple cookie like it was a precious jewel. It's called taste, said Olivia. Do you like it? Amara took another bite, larger this time. For the first time in months, she felt something real. Pleasure, surprise, delight. Tell me more about these experiences your world offers, said Amara, looking at Olivia with new interest. And just like that, the door to diplomacy opened. Through the simplest of Earth's pleasures, a homemade cookie and the promise of more delights to come. The alien king's gorgeous daughter was starving, until a human impressed her with earthly delights. Word spread quickly through the celestial fleet. Princess Amara had requested daily meetings with the human diplomat. This was unusual behavior from the princess, who had shown no interest in anything for months. Tell me again about these spices you use, Amara said, leaning forward in her chair. They sat in a meeting room on the neutral station. A table between them held small plates of food Olivia had brought. Each one gives a different feeling to food, Olivia explained. Cinnamon is warm and sweet. Pepper is sharp and hot. Mint feels cool. Amara tried each one, her face showing wonder with every new taste. Our food is designed only for perfect nutrition. No one thought to make it interesting. Olivia smiled. Food is more than fuel for humans. It's culture, history, pleasure, and art all mixed together. Back on the Twilight Sentinel, Commander Krell waited for Princess Amara to return from her meeting. Krell had grown up with Amara. Many thought they would one day marry. He did not like these meetings with the human. How was your diplomatic session, Princess? He asked when Amara arrived. Amara's skin glowed with unusual colors. It was educational. I am learning much about Earth culture. The king is concerned about these frequent meetings, said Krell, walking beside her. He worries the humans are trying to delay our attack. Perhaps there are things worth learning before we destroy them, Amara replied. Krell frowned. Be careful, Princess. Humans are known to be tricky. They might be using these cultural exchanges to manipulate you. Amara stopped walking and turned to face him. Are you saying I am weak-minded, Commander? Of course not, Princess. I only care for your safety and our mission. Amara continued to her rooms. Our mission will proceed as planned, but I see no harm in learning about the world we will soon control. The next day, Olivia brought music. She played songs from different countries, different times, different styles. Amara closed her eyes as she listened to a slow jazz piece. Our music is mathematically perfect, she said softly, but it has no soul, no surprise. Music shows how different humans can be, Olivia explained. We don't all think alike or feel alike. In the Dominion, differences are seen as flaws, said Amara. We work toward perfection in all things. But isn't variety itself a kind of perfection? Olivia asked. Amara thought about this for a long time. On Earth, Admiral Carter met with Olivia in a secure room. Your approach is working better than we hoped, said the Admiral. The aliens have delayed their attack timeline twice now. Princess, Amara is genuinely interested in our culture, said Olivia. She's especially fascinated by our food, music, and art. Our scientists have a theory Admiral Carter said, showing Olivia some reports. The Celestials have advanced so far that they've lost something essential, the ability to be surprised, to feel wonder. Their perfect society has become empty of meaning. Olivia nodded. Amara told me they design their food for nutrition only. They've forgotten how to enjoy eating. Keep doing whatever you're doing, ordered the Admiral. Every day you keep her interested is another day we have to prepare our defenses. Olivia frowned. What if there's a way to avoid war completely? Princess Amara seems to be changing. If she could convince her father— Don't get your hopes up, Lieutenant, Admiral Carter interrupted. Our goal is delay, not peace. The Celestials have conquered every world they've encountered. We don't expect to be different. The next meeting, Olivia brought books, poetry, novels, and stories from around the world. Amara read quickly, her eyes moving faster than any humans could. Your species creates whole worlds with just words, Amara said with wonder. You imagine things that don't exist and share them with each other. That's what stories do, said Olivia. They let us experience things we never could in real life. My people record facts and knowledge, but we stopped telling stories long ago, Amara said sadly. We thought we had outgrown the need. While they talked, Amara received a message on her wrist device. Her face changed, the colors of her skin turning dark. Is something wrong? Asked Olivia. My father wishes to speak with me immediately, Amara said, standing quickly. I must return to my ship. When Amara returned to the Twilight Sentinel, she found her father waiting in her rooms. King Zorith looked angry. Daughter, I have received disturbing reports, he said. Commander Krell says you have become obsessed with human culture. I am studying our enemy, Amara replied carefully. Knowledge will make conquest easier. Is that why you laughed during your last meeting? The king asked sharply. Krell said you have never laughed with any of our people, yet you laugh with this human. Amara's skin darkened with emotion. The human told a story that was unexpected. Laughter was a natural response. King Zorith moved closer. Some worry you are being influenced, that these human foods contain mind-altering substances. That is ridiculous, Amara said angrily. I am still loyal to the Dominion. Prove it, said the king. Tomorrow you will order the human to bring information about Earth's defenses. If she refuses, you will end these useless meetings. After her father left, Amara stood by her viewing window looking at Earth. For the first time in her life, she did not want to conquer a world. She wanted to learn from it. On Earth, Olivia received an urgent message. Her next meeting with Amara was cancelled. All diplomatic talks were suspended. The Celestial fleet had moved closer to Earth and was now in attack position. What happened? Olivia asked Admiral Carter. We don't know, the Admiral replied. But our intelligence suggests Princess Amara has been confined to her quarters. Someone close to her must have turned against your meetings. Olivia thought immediately of Commander Krell, the way he looked at her with suspicion and at Amara with possession. We need to reach her somehow, Olivia said. We were making progress. It's too late for that, said Admiral Carter. The fleet will begin their attack in 24 hours. All personnel are being moved to secure locations. Olivia returned to her apartment to pack essential items. As she packed, she kept thinking about Amara's face when she tasted chocolate for the first time, when she heard jazz, when she read poetry. There had been true joy there, something Amara said her people had forgotten. An idea began to form in Olivia's mind. A dangerous, possibly treasonous idea. But maybe, just maybe, it could save both their worlds. That night, instead of going to the secure shelter, Olivia went to the military spaceport. She used her officer's ID to access a small supply shuttle. In her bag were Earth's most powerful weapons. Not guns or bombs, but chocolate, hot sauce, poetry books, jazz recordings, a small jasmine plant, and other sensory treasures. As she prepared the shuttle for launch, an alarm sounded. Security would be coming soon. Olivia's hands moved quickly over the controls. She had one chance to reach the Twilight Sentinel and find Amara. One chance to stop a war with the most unusual weapons ever carried into battle. The alien king's gorgeous daughter was starving until a human impressed her with earthly delights. The small supply shuttle shook as Olivia pushed it beyond safe speeds. Behind her, Earth grew smaller. Ahead, the massive shapes of the celestial fleet waited like predators. Alarms beeped on her control panel. Earth security was ordering her to turn back. "Sorry, Admiral," Olivia whispered, turning off the communication system. She had studied the celestial ships for months. She knew their blind spots, the gaps in their sensor coverage. It was still almost impossible to approach undetected, but almost was enough to try. On the Twilight Sentinel, Amara paced her quarters. The guards outside her door would not let her leave. Her communication privileges had been suspended. She was a prisoner on her own ship. She touched the small human book of poetry hidden under her clothes. Olivia had given it to her at their last meeting. Amara had never broken rules before, never hidden things from her father. But now she treasured this small act of rebellion. An alert sounded on her private system, a system her father did not know about. Someone had breached the lower hull of the Twilight Sentinel. The intruder was moving through maintenance tunnels, avoiding guards. Amara quickly checked the security feed. She gasped when she saw Olivia's face, determined and afraid at the same time. The human was here on the flagship, risking everything. "Computer, redirect security teams away from sections 8 through 12, Amara ordered. The computer hesitated, sensing the unusual command, then obeyed. Commander Krell stood on the bridge of the Twilight Sentinel, reviewing attack plans with other officers. A junior officer approached him nervously. "Commander, we detected a small craft approaching, but it disappeared from sensors near the lower hull." Krell frowned. "A human vessel?" "Yes, sir, very small. Possibly a supply shuttle." "Find it immediately," Krell ordered, "and increase security around Princess Amara's quarters." Olivia moved quickly through the dark maintenance tunnels. The ship was huge, but she had memorized its layout from intelligence reports. She had to reach Amara before security found her. A door slid open ahead of her. Olivia raised her hands, ready to surrender. But instead of guards, she saw Amara. "This way quickly," the princess said, pulling Olivia into a hidden passage. "What are you doing here? This is madness." "I had to see you," Olivia said, catching her breath. "The fleet is preparing to attack Earth. I couldn't let that happen without trying something." They reached Amara's private quarters through a secret entrance. Amara sealed the door behind them. "My father has decided the cultural exchanges were a mistake," Amara explained. "Commander Krell convinced him that you were using Earth foods to drug me, to make me sympathetic to humans." Olivia opened her backpack. "I brought more drugs then," she said with a small smile. "Chocolate, music, books, spices." Amara touched the items gently. "You risked your life for this." "I risked my life to show you something important," Olivia said. "I found information about your people, Amara. About why the Celestial Dominion conquers world after world." Amara stiffened. "We bring order and advancement to lesser species." "No," Olivia said gently. "You're searching for something you've lost." She pulled out a small data pad. "Your people are dying, Amara. Not physically, but spiritually. Birth rates have fallen for centuries. Creative output has declined. Even scientific advancement has slowed." Amara wanted to deny it, but she knew it was true. Her people lived for thousands of years but rarely had children anymore. Why create new life in a universe where nothing was new, nothing was surprising? "How did you get this information?" Amara asked. "Your ship computers aren't as secure as you think," Olivia said. "Our hackers found medical reports, population statistics, cultural assessments." A loud bang sounded at the main door to Amara's quarters. "Princess, open immediately," Commander Krell's voice came through the speaker. "A human intruder has been detected on board." Amara looked at Olivia with fear. "They'll execute you as a spy." "Then let me show you one more thing before they do," Olivia said, pulling out a small bottle. "This is called hot sauce. It's the opposite of the sweet chocolate you tried first." As the pounding on the door grew louder, Amara took a small taste of the red liquid. Her eyes widened, and her skin flashed with bright colors. "It burns," she gasped. "But I want more." "That's the point," Olivia said. "Some of the best experiences in life include a little pain, a little challenge. Your people have removed all discomfort, all struggle, all surprise. And with it, you've removed meaning." The door burst open. Commander Krell entered with 6 guards, weapons raised. "Seize the human," he ordered. The guards grabbed Olivia roughly. Krell looked at the items spread on the table, the food, books, music recordings. "So, this is how you corrupt our princess," he said with disgust, "with primitive sensory tricks." "They're not tricks," Amara said, stepping forward. "They're experiences, real meaningful experiences that our people have forgotten." Krell ignored her, examining the datapad Olivia had brought. "Spying on our population statistics? Our medical records? This is clear evidence of espionage. The human will be executed immediately." "No!" Amara shouted, her skin flashing with anger. "I forbid it." "Your father has suspended your authority, princess," Krell said coldly. "Until you are cleansed of human influence, you have no power here." Olivia looked at Amara. "Tell him what I told you about why your people keep conquering, keep searching." "Silence." Krell struck Olivia across the face. Something broke inside Amara at that moment. She had never seen violence up close before. Her people considered it primitive, but the sight of Krell striking Olivia awakened something primal and protective. "Take your hands off her," Amara said, her voice suddenly deeper, more powerful. The lights in the room flickered. Krell turned to her, surprised. "Princess, you are not well. The human contamination is the only real thing I've felt in years," Amara finished. She moved closer to Olivia. "Our people are starving, Krell. Not for food, but for meaning, for surprise, for joy and pain and all the things that make life worth living. These are primitive emotions," Krell argued. "We evolved beyond them. And we're dying because of it," Amara said. She touched Olivia's face where Krell had struck her. "I've learned more about life from this human in a few days than I've learned in centuries among our people." The guards looked uncertain, their weapons still pointed at Olivia but their eyes on the princess. "You're proving my point about contamination," Krell said. "The king will hear of this." He turned to the guards. "Take the human to detention cell 1. The execution will proceed after I inform the king." As the guards moved to take Olivia away, Amara grabbed a small container from the table, the hot sauce. With a quick movement, she splashed it into Krell's eyes. The commander screamed, a sound so unusual among Celestials that the guards froze in shock. Krell had never felt such pain, never experienced such a strong sensation. Amara used the distraction to grab Olivia's arm. "Come with me," she whispered. "I know where we can go." They ran through the hidden passage, leaving Krell and the confused guards behind. Amara led Olivia deep into the ship, to places not on any official blueprint. "Where are we going?" Olivia asked as they hurried through dark corridors. "To the heart of the ship," Amara replied. "To the one place my father cannot override. The Sensory Broadcast Center." "The what?" "Every celestial ship has one. It's how we share information instantly throughout the fleet. Every celestial is connected to it." Olivia began to understand. "You want to show them all? Everything I showed you?" Amara stopped at a massive door covered in glowing symbols. "Not, just show them," she said, her eyes bright with purpose. "Make them feel it, all at once. The sweetness of chocolate, the burn of hot sauce, the beauty of poetry, the surprise of jokes, the emotional power of music." She placed her hand on the door, and it recognized her royal DNA. The door slid open to reveal a room filled with glowing crystals and floating displays. "My father thinks I know nothing about our technology," Amara said with a small smile. "But I've studied it all my life. I know how to use this system better than anyone." She began to work quickly, her hands moving over controls, connecting devices Olivia had brought. "If this works," Olivia said slowly, "what happens to the attack plan?" Amara, looked up, her eyes serious. I don't know. But I know my people can't continue as we are. We need to change or we will fade away. You've shown me that there's another way to live. Outside, alarms began to sound throughout the ship. Commander Krell had recovered and raised a full alert. We don't have much time, Amara said. Help me connect these devices to the sensory system. Together they worked quickly, loading Earth's tastes, sounds, words, and images into the most powerful communication system ever built. It's ready, Amara said finally. Now we just need to... The door exploded inward. Commander Krell stood, there, his face still red from the hot sauce, his weapon pointed at Olivia's heart. Step away from the controls, princess, he ordered. This ends now. The alien king's gorgeous daughter was starving, until a human impressed her with earthly delights. You don't understand what you're doing, Krell, Amara said, standing protectively in front of Olivia. Our people are dying, not from disease, but from emptiness. Commander Krell kept his weapon steady. Step aside, princess. The human has poisoned your mind. No, she opened it, Amara replied. When was the last time you felt truly alive, Krell? When was the last time you were surprised, or delighted, or even angry before today? Krell's face showed confusion for a moment. His eyes darted to the hot sauce container still on the floor where he had dropped it. The burning sensation, Amara continued, was it not the most real thing you've felt in years? It was primitive pain, Krell said, but uncertainty crept into his voice. It was life, Amara insisted. Real, raw life. Something we've engineered out of our perfect existence. More guards appeared behind Krell. King Zorith himself stepped into the room, his tall form seeming to fill the doorway. Daughter, what madness is this? The king demanded. Amara stood straight, facing her father without fear for the first time. Not madness, father. Clarity. I've discovered why our empire keeps expanding but our population keeps shrinking. Why we conquer world after world but find no satisfaction. This human has filled your head with nonsense, the king said dismissively. Olivia looked at the sensory system controls. They were almost ready. She just needed to press one final button to broadcast. But with all eyes on them, there was no way to do it without being seen. Let me show you, father, Amara said, slowly moving back toward the control panel. Let me show all our people what we've been missing. King Zorith raised his hand. Enough. Guards, take the human to detention. Commander Krell, escort my daughter to the medical bay for decontamination and memory adjustment. Amara's skin paled. Memory adjustment? You would erase my mind? Only the contaminated parts, the king said. It is for your own good. As the guards moved to take Olivia, she made a desperate decision. She lunged for the control panel. Stop her, Krell shouted, but it was too late. Olivia's hand slammed down on the activation button. For 1 second, nothing happened. Then the room filled with light. Images of Earth, oceans, mountains, cities, forests, projected all around them. Music began to play, a powerful symphony that filled the air. Scents of flowers, spices, and foods spread through the ventilation system. And most importantly, the emotional impact of Earth's art and culture flowed directly into the neural receivers of every celestial on the fleet. King Zorith staggered back, overwhelmed by sensations he had not experienced in thousands of years. Krell dropped his weapon, his eyes wide with wonder. Throughout the Twilight Sentinel and across the entire fleet, celestials stopped what they were doing. Some fell to their knees. Others laughed or cried for the first time in centuries. Amara moved quickly to Olivia's side. It's working, she whispered. They're feeling it all. But Krell was stronger than the others. He fought against the flood of sensations, pushing through to reach the control panel. This is contamination, he shouted. With a violent movement, he smashed his fist into the panel. Sparks flew. The broadcast stuttered. Krell grabbed his weapon again and aimed it at Olivia. You have destroyed everything, he screamed, his finger tightening on the trigger. Amara threw herself in front of Olivia. No! The weapon fired. The energy blast struck Amara in the chest. She fell backward into Olivia's arms, her skin fading to a dull gray. "Amara!" Olivia cried, lowering her gently to the floor. "No, please, no." King Zorith roared with a rage no Celestial had expressed in generations. He grabbed Krell and threw him against the wall. "What have you done?" Olivia held Amara's hand, tears streaming down her face. "Stay with me," she begged. Amara's eyes fluttered. "The broadcast," she whispered. "It's failing." The sensory feed was indeed breaking down, the images flickering, the music distorting. The damaged control panel smoked and sparked. "I don't care about the broadcast," Olivia said. "I care about you." Amara smiled weakly. "That's what I've been missing all my life. Someone who cares about me, not my position, not my power." King Zorith knelt beside his daughter, his face showing real emotion for the first time in centuries. "Amara, my child." "Father," Amara said softly. "Did you feel it? Did you feel what the humans feel every day?" The king nodded slowly. "I felt everything. It was overwhelming." "That's life, Father," Amara whispered. "Real life. We've been half dead for centuries, living in perfect emptiness." Medical staff rushed in, pushing Olivia aside to tend to the princess. The king rose, to his full height, looking at Olivia with new eyes. "You did this," he said. "You brought this chaos to my ship, to my fleet, to my daughter." Olivia stood her ground. "I brought life to your ship, to your fleet, to your daughter." Before the king could respond, a communication officer burst into the room. "Your Majesty, something is happening throughout the fleet." "What is it?" the king demanded. It's hard to explain, sir. Celestials are changing. They're removing their formal attire. They're preparing human foods in the nutrition centers. They're playing human music. Some are even crying." Krell, now held by guards, looked horrified. "The contamination is spreading." "No," said a weak voice. Amara was being lifted onto a medical platform, but she raised her hand to stop them. "Not contamination. Awakening." The damaged broadcast system continued to sputter, sending fragments of Earth experiences to the fleet. But now, Celestials were sharing the sensations with each other, spreading the new feelings from ship to ship. "Your Majesty," the communication officer continued, "3 ships have reported that their crews refuse to prepare for the attack on Earth. They're calling themselves the Awakened." King Zorith looked shocked. "Mutiny? In my fleet?" "Not mutiny, Father," Amara said, her voice growing stronger as the medical team worked on her wound. "Revolution. A peaceful one. Our people have been starving for meaning, and now they've had a taste of what they've been missing." The king turned to Olivia. "Is this what you planned? To divide my fleet? To weaken us from within?" "I planned to save my world," Olivia answered honestly. "But I also wanted to help Amara. She showed me that your people aren't evil conquerors. You're lost. You're looking for something to fill the emptiness inside you." The medical team announced that Amara would survive. Her advanced celestial biology was already repairing the damage from Krell's weapon. King Zorith paced the room, his mind clearly in turmoil. For the first time in thousands of years, he faced a situation he couldn't control with technology or power. "Father," Amara said, sitting up despite the medical team's protests. "We have a choice to make. We can force our people back into empty perfection, or we can embrace a new way of living, a way that includes feelings, sensations, surprises, a way that includes Earth rather than conquers it." The king looked at his daughter, truly seeing her for perhaps the first time. "You would have us abandon our mission, our way of life?" "I would have us find meaning again," Amara replied. "Look at yourself, Father. You felt real emotions when you thought I might die. Was that not more meaningful than anything you felt in centuries?" The king couldn't deny it. The fear, the rage, the relief. These emotions had awakened something long dormant within him. "What would you have me do?" he asked finally. Amara looked at Olivia, then back to her father. Call off the attack. Begin cultural exchanges instead of conquest. Let our people learn from humans even as we share our technology with them. Weakness, spat Krell from where the guards held him. You would make us weak like them. No, said Olivia. Feeling deeply doesn't make you weak. It makes you stronger. It gives you something to fight for, to live for. Reports continued to come in from throughout the fleet. More and more Celestials were joining the Awakened. They wanted to experience Earth's culture directly. Some were even requesting permission to visit the planet. King Zorith stood silent for a long time, the weight of thousands of years of tradition and expectation on his shoulders. Finally, he looked at his daughter. You truly believe this is the path to save our people? Not conquest, but cultural exchange? I do, Father, Amara said firmly. We've been conquering worlds for millennia, and we're still empty inside. Perhaps it's time to try something new. The king nodded slowly. Very well, I will suspend the attack order, for now. He turned to his guards. Take Commander Krell to detention. His attack on the princess is treason, regardless of his intentions. As Krell was led away, shouting about contamination and weakness, the king approached Olivia. Human, you have either saved 2 civilizations today or doomed mine to a slow death. Time will tell which it is. Olivia bowed her head slightly. I believe your people will find new strength in feelings and experiences, Your Majesty. They've been missing half of what makes life worth living. The king turned to leave, then paused. What was that brown sweet substance my daughter first tasted? The one that began all this? Chocolate chip cookies, Olivia said with a small smile. I baked them myself. Remarkable, the king murmured. That something so simple could change the course of an empire. He shook his head and left the room. As the medical team prepared to move Amara to the healing chambers, she reached for Olivia's hand. Stay with me? She asked. I have so many questions about your world. The alien king's gorgeous daughter was starving, until a human impressed her with earthly delights. 6 months passed since the day the celestial fleet chose cultural exchange over war. Earth had changed in ways no one could have predicted. The skies now held strange, beautiful ships, no longer threatening but welcomed. Olivia walked through a crowded market in what used to be Central Park in New York. Around her, humans and celestials shopped together, trading foods, art, music, and stories. The air smelled of spices from both worlds. Lieutenant Marsh, called a voice. Admiral Carter approached, looking more relaxed than Olivia had ever seen her. Or should I say Ambassador Marsh now? Olivia smiled. I'm still getting used to the title myself. The State Department made the right choice, Admiral Carter said. No one understands the Celestials better than you do. They walked together through the market. Celestials with shimmering skin tried Earth foods with expressions of wonder. Humans examined celestial technology with equal amazement. Did you ever imagine it would turn out like this? Admiral Carter asked, gesturing to a group of celestial children listening to a human musician play guitar. Never, Olivia admitted. I just wanted to prevent a war. I never dreamed we'd end up as partners. A tall celestial approached them, wearing the simple white robes that had become the uniform of the Awakened. Most of the younger celestials had joined the movement, embracing emotion and sensation over the cold perfection of their past. Ambassador Marsh, the celestial said with a slight bow. Princess Amara requests your presence on the Twilight Sentinel. The king wishes to speak with both of you. Olivia nodded. Tell her I'll be there this afternoon. As the messenger left, Admiral Carter looked concerned. Is everything all right? The treaty negotiations are still on track, aren't they? As far as I know, Olivia said, King Zorith has been surprisingly supportive lately. Surprisingly is right, Admiral Carter muttered. Some of us still don't trust his sudden change of heart. It wasn't sudden, Olivia said. And it wasn't just his heart that changed. It was his entire understanding of what makes life worth living. Later that day, Olivia boarded a shuttle to the Twilight Sentinel. The massive warship looked different now. The cold metallic exterior had been decorated with colorful designs created by celestial artists who had discovered the joy of self-expression. Amara waited in the docking bay. Her appearance had changed dramatically over the past months. Gone were the formal royal garments of living metal. Instead, she wore a simple dress in Earth style, though made of celestial fabric that shimmered with her emotions. Around her neck hung a silver chain with a small cookie-shaped charm, a gift from Olivia. "You look worried," Amara said as they embraced. "Don't be. My father is in a good mood today." "That's what concerns me," Olivia joked. "I'm still not used to King Zorith having moods at all." They walked together through the ship. The corridors that once held only silent, formal celestials now bustled with activity. Some played Earth music. Others worked on art projects. Many wore colorful clothes instead of the traditional gray and silver uniforms. "The ship feels alive," Olivia commented. Amara smiled. "It is alive. For the first time in centuries, our people are truly living, not just existing." They reached the king's chamber. Inside, they found not the formal throne room Olivia expected, but a casual meeting space. King Zorith sat at a table laden with foods from both worlds. His formal crown was absent and his robes were simpler than before. "Ambassador Princess," the king greeted them. "Please join me." As they sat, Olivia noticed something odd on the table, a plate of slightly burned cookies. "Did you make these yourself?" she asked the king, trying to hide her surprise. King Zorith actually smiled, something that would have been unthinkable 6 months ago. "I did. Your earth cooking methods are surprisingly complex. Controlling temperature is more difficult than controlling a fleet, it seems." Amara laughed, picking up one of the cookies. "Father has become quite the baker, though he still has much to learn." The king watched as his daughter took a bite of his creation. "Well, how is it?" Amara's skin flickered with colors, amusement, affection, and a hint of strain as she tried to be diplomatic. "It has character." Olivia tried one as well. It was indeed terrible, burned on the outside, somehow still raw in the middle and far too salty. But the fact that the ruler of the most powerful empire in the galaxy had made cookies with his own hands was extraordinary. "It's a good first attempt," Olivia said kindly. "Baking takes practice." "So I am learning," the king said. "I find it strangely satisfying, even when the results are imperfect." He set the cookies aside. "But I did not call you here to sample my poor cooking skills." His tone became serious. "The treaty between our worlds is nearly complete. The exchange of technology and culture has begun. But there is one matter still unresolved." Olivia tensed. Here it was. The catch, the demand, the true price for peace. "My daughter wishes to remain on Earth as our permanent ambassador," the king continued. "This is unconventional. Traditionally, royal family members do not serve in diplomatic posts." Amara reached over and took Olivia's hand openly. "Father, we've discussed this. Nothing about our current situation is traditional, and I have personal reasons for wanting to stay on Earth." The king looked at their joined hands, his expression unreadable. "Yes, I am aware of your attachment to Ambassador Marsh and to Earth itself." Olivia held her breath. Interspecies relationships were still new and often viewed with suspicion by both humans and celestials. "I have given this much thought," the king said slowly. "In the old days, I would have forbidden it, without question. The royal bloodline was to remain pure. Emotions were seen as weakness. Attachment to individuals was discouraged." He paused, then did something neither of them expected. He reached out and placed his hand on top of theirs. "But the old days led us to emptiness and isolation. They led us to conquer rather than connect. They led my daughter to starve for meaning." His voice softened. "I will not make that mistake again." Amara's skin glowed with surprise and joy. "Father, do you mean you have my blessing?" the king said. "Both to serve as ambassador and to explore your relationship with Olivia Marsh. Our people need examples of how to embrace this new way of living. Who better than you, the first of the awakened?" Olivia felt tears in her eyes. "Thank you, Your Majesty." The king nodded, then stood. "Now I must return to the fleet. Half of my ship's captains have requested permission to bring their families to Earth for what you call vacation. It seems our people have discovered the concept of leisure time." He sounded both bewildered and amused. After the king left, Amara turned to Olivia, her skin glowing with happiness. "Can you believe it? 6 months ago, my father would never have understood why anyone would want to experience leisure, let alone cooking failures." "He's changed," Olivia agreed. "Your whole society is changing." "For the better," Amara said. "The latest reports show celestial birth rates rising for the first time in 500 years. People want to have children again to show them the wonders of the universe." They left the meeting room and walked to a large viewing area. Through the massive window, Earth shone blue and beautiful. "Commander Krell and his supporters still argue that we've become weak," Amara said. "That embracing emotions and connection has dulled our edge." "What do you think?" Olivia asked. "I think we found strength we never knew we had," Amara replied. "The strength to be vulnerable, the strength to change, the strength to connect, rather than conquer." A group of young Celestials approached them, excited and nervous. One stepped forward, bowing slightly. "Princess Amara, Ambassador Marsh," the young Celestial said. "We've been studying Earth music. Would you like to hear what we've created?" Before the awakening, no Celestial would have dared approach royalty, let alone offer to play something as frivolous as music. Now Amara smiled warmly. "We would be honored," she said. The young Celestials set up their instruments, some Earth-made, some celestial, some curious hybrids of both. They began to play. The music was unlike anything Olivia had ever heard. Alien harmonies blended with familiar Earth rhythms, creating something entirely new. Celestials and humans throughout the viewing area stopped to listen. Some began to dance, another concept the Celestials had embraced with enthusiasm. "I never imagined this outcome when I first brought you those cookies," Olivia said softly to Amara. Amara squeezed her hand. "Neither did I. I was just a princess, starving for meaning. You showed me a feast I never knew existed." A small celestial child approached them shyly, holding out a drawing. It showed a celestial and a human holding hands, with a rainbow of colors surrounding them. "For you," the child said, "because you stopped the war." Amara knelt down to the child's level. "What's your name?" "Elira," the child said. "That's a beautiful drawing, Elira," Amara said. "Did you know that before humans showed us how, Celestials rarely drew pictures just for fun?" The child looked shocked. "Never? But drawing is the best thing ever." "We had forgotten about best things ever," Amara explained gently. "We had forgotten how to play, how to enjoy simple pleasures." "That's sad," Elira said. "It was," Amara agreed. "But not anymore." As the child ran back to her parents, Amara stood and turned to Olivia.